Welcome to the Iron Will podcast, where we talk about overcoming adversity and challenges, creating the life we truly want, and how we use iron therapy to improve our mind and body. No matter what life throws at us, we need to develop an iron will to push through whatever stands in the way to becoming the very best version of ourselves. It's never too late, but now is the time for action. Welcome to episode 207 of the Iron Will podcast.
And by 207, Kurt definitely means 213. Onward.
Hey, it's been a while. It's been a minute, as the kids say. I'm doing a little audio recording and a YouTube recording or a video recording that we're going to show on the YouTubes and stuff. So I think the last episode I put up back in November of 2019. So I'm really trying to get a bunch of these things back in order, back in line. And, you know, I hate saying, because I feel rusty. I feel like I'm just out of the groove of the podcasting. So if you listen to some of my earlier podcasts, I'm much more on top of things. I'm much more with it. So it's going to take a while for me to get my podcast legs back. And knowing that I'm on video, it's kind of weird at the same time. But what I want to really talk about is we're going to jump ahead a bit. Currently, it's May 25th, 26th, 2020. So it's been 5 months, 6 months. So a lot's been going on, and kind of started and stopped with either videos or putting Facebook posts. So I'm trying to really put it all together now, so that I can be much more consistent again with the podcast and with the videos. And as I said in many episodes before, this helps me as much as it does a lot of the listeners I have, the 7 of them. And a lot of you have reached out and asked, is the podcast coming back? And then some people are reaching out, because I used to do some daily videos. And so I really want to get all that going again. So I really want to get back into that groove, but also spend some time every day thinking about what it is that I want to put out there. So sometimes it comes to me easily. Sometimes I'm just like, this is what I'm going to talk about today. This is what I've been running into, or this is a question I've been getting a lot. But with the rebuilding and the rejigging of the brand into Iron Hos gear, and getting used to working from home, and now with the COVID shutting everything down as of mid-March, there's been a lot of detours, a lot of roadblocks, a lot of things that have come up. And that's obviously taken a good amount of my time, my bandwidth, my energy to navigate and figure a bunch of that stuff out. What I want to talk about today is, if you've been watching some of the branding, we've changed it a little bit as far as what our vision or our mission statement for Iron Hos is. It's been changed to, or it's grown into, evolved into, struggle, persevere, succeed, and inspire. For those of you watching the video, you can see the banner behind me. It's the back of all our shirts now. It's the right sleeve of a lot of our clothing. And that formula sort of made itself present or manifested itself in front of me probably about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And I was sitting down here working on some stuff and just trying to get shit together. And I was listening to some stuff on the YouTube. So often I have YouTube going in the background. So sometimes it'll be videos on training. Sometimes it'll be videos on branding and clothing, because that's what we're big into now, what I'm into. But a lot of times I'll just put mindset stuff, motivation stuff. And I was sitting here one night writing some notes, doing a few things. And I was listening to what was being said on one of the broadcasts on YouTube. And the 4 words just jumped out at me. And it's funny because I quickly grabbed a little Post-it note, one of these little things here, little whatever, 3M made $1 billion on that. And I quickly jotted down: struggle, persevere, succeed, and inspire. And I had it, I had put it in a row or a vertical stack, and I put it in a circle. This is the shield version, I like to call it, because it kind of looks like a shield. And I like the flow. And then as I looked at it, it really resonated with me as to, that's how we deal with things. That's how we evolve. If we want to move forward, we have to struggle. If we're dealing with something that's hard to deal with, we have to struggle through it. And of course, the next part is not to quit, is to get to the other side, to persevere. And then once we persevere and we get through it, we've succeeded, right? And that success will inspire. It'll inspire us to realize that, hey, we can overcome things. We can get through things. It'll toughen us so that we know that, we can handle the next thing. If I can handle this, then the next thing that comes along, even if it's a little bit bigger, I've got some confidence, I've got some momentum, I have some success behind me. I'm inspired to want to take on the next struggle. And then as we do that, those around us are watching or seeing or persevering or perceiving, what we're doing. They can become inspired. So the moment you start to have a little bit of success, somewhere down the line, it becomes an inspiration either for yourself or someone around you. You might catch someone on that one day that they're just having a horrible day, and they see your post where you post about how you've lost a few pounds, or you increased a PR, or you finally cleaned up the garage, or you've had a bigger success, right? You stuck through it. You graduated. You saw something to the end, and there you are reaping the rewards of it. And you never know what that one post can do to somebody else who's in the middle of going through a struggle themselves. Someone who's feeling deflated, someone who's feeling beaten, feels like quitting, and all of a sudden they happen to come across your post about your success, your milestone, and it does something to them. It inspires them. Much like how we've been inspired often by something we see someone do or achieve or witness. And that's the incredible thing about a little bit of success, is that it quickly can become inspirational to you or to somebody else. But that formula, I just saw it, and I call it a formula because if you follow it, if you go through struggle and persevere and you succeed and you inspire, right? It leads to something. It creates something. 1 + 1 is 2. In this case, the 4 parts become something greater. And when I saw that, I literally got goosebumps. It hit me. And I did a couple of napkin drawings, as I like to say, and I went and saw my graphic guy and I said, look, I want to come up with something. I want to take this. I want this to become part of Iron Hos. So we came out with the circle. We have the circle where it has, the words struggle, persevere, inspire, succeed, and inspire. Then we did the shield version. And I put them out there and I said, okay, guys, which one do you like most? And, it came back 50-50. But what was really, really cool, what really gave me proof of concept or made me realize I was onto something, is that I put it on a hoodie, and right off the bat, people were contacting me directly saying, I want that hoodie. I want that hoodie. Can I get it in this color? I want that hoodie. Can I get it in this size? I didn't even have a chance to really try to put it up on my website. I don't think it's even up on the website yet. IronHosgear.com. Shameless plug. But I've sold a bunch of hoodies and shirts and shorts because people just saw that and it meant something. And I think, is it coincidence? It's in the middle of this COVID thing where the world has gone crazy and everything's upside down and people are struggling. And I think it's terrible because people are forced to struggle because they're being told their business has to close, or where they work has been told they have to close, and now they're unemployed, or now they have to find other ways to make ends meet and go through the stress and can't go here and can't go there. It's the definition of a struggle. It's actually on a world level. It's crazy. And forget whether you believe it's legit or not. Forget whether you believe the COVID is really that big a deal or not. That doesn't matter at this point. What is happening at this point is that people are struggling to get through a lot of things. Some people are fine. Some people are in a situation where they're insulated from it because they work for the government and they're paid anyway, or their job is okay, or their business happens to be one of the ones that are deemed essential and they're crazy busy because of. So again, but for a lot of people, it's changed the day-to-day routine. It's made it harder. I mean, it started with toilet paper disappearing off the shelves. You want to talk about something surreal? We live in a country, in a part of the world that we don't ever really go without. And we hear about other countries, or we see other countries on TV or in movies, where there's bread lines and food lines, and you're standing in line to get some sort of financial aid or whatever, just to survive. They have to walk miles to get clean water, all that crazy shit we see on TV. And I remember after the first week of this toilet paper thing, everyone just hoarding it and stuff. And, thankfully I asked my wife and she was like, we had lots, we're fine. So there you go. But after a week, for the hell of it, I went to the grocery store. I wanted to see what's really going on. And I remembered the grocery store looked normal, everything fine, until I turned down the aisle of the toilet paper and the paper towel. And the shelves were empty. And I mean bare. And it looked like something we'd seen on TV on a movie. And it did something to me. It bothered me. I never felt that before. I never felt that sense of lack, that sense of scarcity. Just seeing those empty shelves was bizarre. And it made me think, where's this going to go? How's it going to go? I wasn't, personally, I'm not worried about this, the flu. I'm not 90 years old. I'm healthy. The people around me are, who I hang out with are. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about how people are reacting. I worry about how Mr. and Mrs. Jones are going to react. The hoarding, the potential. Everyone talks a nice rosy picture about, be kind to your neighbor, look out for each other. But so many people, the moment they feel that they're a little bit, under the gun, or they're scared, or they're fearful, they resort to selfish acts. We're not used to that. So that's a struggle. And the fear mongering on the TV and on the news, it's always negative. And then there's truly negative things happening. People are losing businesses and jobs that won't be there when everything opens back up. A few things are starting to open up now. I'm in an industry directly, in the fitness industry, even though I don't own a training facility anymore. The bulk of my clientele train. That's who our apparel is geared towards. Men and women who love the gym and live for the gym and lift to be stronger mentally and physically. That's part of who we are. Gyms, stores that are carrying our products, they're not open. So, we're, again, directly affected. And I could look back and say, it's fun. I just, was starting to come back or get my feet underneath me again from having to close the last business, the gym and the debt and all those things. And January and February, we're just starting to show some signs, some positivity, heading in the right direction. We're going to, thinking, hey, we're going to be okay. Give me 6 months to a year in this, and I'm going to be able to pay off some things and get ahead on some things and breathe a little deeper, a little easier. And then boom, March hits, and then the COVID and shut down, and the meets and all the things that we were moving towards are gone, put on hold, and out of our control because someone else is making those decisions, not me. Not the lifters, not our brothers and sisters in Iron, not the gyms. We're being told we have to shut down. We're being forced out of our jobs, out of our businesses. It's a real struggle. So we have to persevere. We have to get through. We have to find a way through that. And at first, I'm not going to lie to you, when this kind of happened, realizing that just as we were starting to come out and move forward on things, this happens, it really felt like 2 steps forward, 1 3/4 steps backwards. So I had a day or two where I felt pretty shitty about things, and I was mad and frustrated and wondering, am I going to, is it ever going to get easier? Am I ever going to find the right thing and move forward and create and be able to be who I want to be and make a living at it? And it's okay to feel that way. It's normal to feel that way, but I don't want to stay there. That's not who I am. I know that's not the way through it. I've been around long enough to know that that's not the way through a struggle. That's not how you persevere. You have to find other ways to get through. You have to look. You have to pivot. You have to stay positive, but you have to make sure that you are able to keep yourself positive. Mindset, working out, taking care of yourself, all those things. We have to make ourselves stronger so we can handle this, so we can get through the struggle. And while we're going through it, I think it's natural to sit there and say, well, how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? How do I make sure if this happens again, that it doesn't affect me and my family and my business the same way? I know a lot of business owners are going through that right now, especially the ones that understand that we'll get through it. But we also understand it's at a cost of time, of energy, of money. That's the struggle. And maybe entrepreneurs and business people tend to be more positive than the average person, so we know we're used to the fight and we're used to getting through things. We understand that if we really want something bad enough, we'll find a way. But every once in a while, you get kind of tired of the struggle. So maybe that's where we work on getting smarter. How do we get smarter? How do we figure some things out? How do we adapt to the world around us as it's changing so that we're not in this situation again? Because will the next virus or the next fear, will the governments react the same way? Quite possibly. So we have to figure out a way. How do we do that? How do we insulate ourselves so that we're not so dependent on the normal ways of doing things, or we're not in a position where others can dictate to us whether we can be open or not, whether we can run our business the way we want to or not. Because I know there's a lot of business owners out there that just have to shut down because they were told to shut down and forced to shut down. But you know what? They're still responsible for the rent and the utilities. They're worried about staff. They want to keep staff, but they have to pay. They have to pay themselves. They have families. A lot of people don't think about that. There's the, Serbs out there and you'll get a couple grand a month. But you know what? What if your cost of living is more than that? What if you're used to? What if you worked really hard for 20 years to be able to afford to do more things, to have a higher income? And then overnight, someone takes it away from you. That's a hell of a struggle. That's a big struggle. Those that, are in the middle of it, you get what I'm saying. You understand it. I'm getting a lot of amen, brother. A lot of you out there, though, that, aren't in that position, that have the jobs that are still paying you, telling you to work from home, right? I don't know if you really appreciate what a lot of people are going through. Small business, 69% of the tax revenue is generated by small businesses with 2 to 10 employees. It's not the Fords, it's not the airlines. They're all going to get bailed out by the government. But it's the small businesses that suffer. But we're the bulk of the tax revenue generator. And if 30% of that tax revenue generator goes down, where businesses can't reopen, can't afford to go bankrupt, where's that tax money going to come from? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, who is paid off the tax base, either on a federal, provincial, municipal level, through a hospital, through whatever, that's funded by taxes. There's going to be a point where there's just going to be less taxes collected. Then what? Then you're going to start to feel it. Then you're going to see layoffs and all of a sudden, things are going to start to affect you. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, whoa, wow, this is not fair. This is not right. Now, I really hope it doesn't get to be that bad. I hope we're able to turn things around. I hope the government opens things up so we can get back to normal, so we can, move forward and have our livelihoods and our businesses. But that's the reality of it. If it keeps going this way, if we keep demanding the shutdown, and businesses aren't allowed to find a way to open up, that's the real reality of it. There's a lot of businesses not coming out of this. There's a lot of businesses that will not reopen their doors. And there's people out there with shitty attitudes saying, well, business should be ready for this. No one was ready for this. No one could have predicted this. And I guarantee you, the only people that are saying that are the people that aren't affected financially by this. They're the only ones. The problem is a lot of these decisions are being made by people whose financial livelihood is not affected by it. They get paid no matter what decision they make. So my whole point of this is, whether you agree with that or not, is understand that there's some real struggle out there. And the formula is the same. The struggles come. The only way through it is to persevere. And if that takes a week, a month, a year, whatever, if you have to pivot, you have to change, if you have to do things a different way than you did before to get through it, that's part of that persevering. That's part of that getting through it. Get to the other side. Get to success. And everyone has a different, definition of what success is. So you have to get to your success. What does success mean for you? The one thing I will say with these shutdowns, with a lot more time on our hands, this is the best time or opportunity for people to sit down and take a look at themselves and their lives and where they are emotionally, physically, mentally, health-wise, all that. Normally we get so many excuses. We're too busy, got too much going on, I haven't got time to do that. Well, there's a lot more time out there for most people. Some people, some aspects, some sectors are crazy busy. But for a lot of us, there's a lot more time on our hands. We've Netflixed everything out, watched everything there is to watch. And we've talked about it many times, sitting down every day, spending some time in your head. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And to be that person, what does it look like? What do I have to look like and feel like and think like to be the person I want to be? This is the time to work on it. This is the opportunity So again, right, it's trying to find some positives in this. It's trying to find the silver lining. It's trying to say, okay, listen, I can't do this, and this is affected, but I can definitely do more of this, whatever this may be. I know on my end, I think we have 15 or 20 new clothing designs. A whole bunch we've already started to release. We're going to release more. Another 10 or 15 already, working on stuff because we have more time to do it. And part of it too is that even with the whole switch that I'd made business-wise, it was done also so that I had more time or would have more time to focus on the clothing and the accessories and the meets and the workshops and, just helping people get stronger, celebrating strength, converting the garage into a gym was a necessity. And a lot of people were saying, 2 weeks you'll be back to the gym. And, then it became 4. Well, now it's 2 months. And now there's talk July, August. And even when we go back, booking an hour at a time, 6 feet apart from everybody, it's going to be crappy for a while, right? It's better than nothing, but it's going to be crappy for a while. And what about people all setting up all these home gyms? Try to find a piece of fitness equipment. Try to find a piece of fitness equipment that isn't gone through the roof expensive now. There's some price gouging, but also there's just things that become more expensive because they're harder to get, all through the chain of supply or supply chain. All those people that bought home gyms that are set up at home, do you think they're going to be in a hurry to go back to the gym? They just invested all this time, especially if they've overpaid. They've invested all this money and set things up. They're not going to be in a hurry to get back to the gym. The gyms won't be the same for a long time. That business won't be the same. The atmosphere won't be the same. The environment won't be the same. Garage gyms are going to be the thing of the future for the next foreseeable future, I think. Home gyms, basement gyms. 5 guys getting together and putting stuff together and having a workout space of their own that's private. We're going to see more and more of that. And we can't blame them. We can't blame people because for those of us who love training, and training means so much to us on so many levels, this has been a huge struggle. We're hearing about it, all over now about the mental health of things. I read somewhere something that they think the stat for people, the deaths from mental health, and depression and suicide will eclipse the amount of people that died from COVID. That's scary. That's a huge piece of collateral damage. But what do you do if your world's been turned upside down? How do you handle that struggle? Every time I post a video of me training, every time, months into it now, people still message me, are you selling anything? Do you have anything for sale? Do you know where I can get this, where I can get that? I'm envious. I wish I could train there. I've had people offer me $100, $200, $300 a month to come train in my garage. I can't do it. It's my home. I don't want a lot of strangers in my home. I don't want crap to happen. I'm not worried about the COVID thing personally. I'm not. But I'm worried about getting fined because they think I'm doing it as a business. Right? Bylaw showing up and wanting to charge me $1,000. Or even higher if they think you're doing business and stuff like that. It's punitive. It's ridiculous. It doesn't help the situation. But for me, that's just a way I look at it and say, let's not just put ourselves through that undue stress. Let's not do that to ourselves. Let's not do that to myself. On the flip side is, I miss training in the gym. I just got back into training, after August, after closing the gym. I just fell in love with training again. I missed it. I missed the old me that loved to go in the gym and work out and get strong and fitter. And, my body's changed, my physique has changed, and it's changing. And yes, I'm very lucky that I was able to have some equipment left over and put a gym together in my garage. It's not the same, though, as having my own gym. It's not the same as being in the gym and having access to all kinds of equipment. I miss that. I miss the environment. I miss the people. I miss the socialness to it. It was part of my structure. I would get up. I would go to the gym, do the cardio. I would do this, or that. I built my day around, my framework around it. But again, it just comes down to it's part of the struggle. And in persevering through it, it's finding a way through it. How am I going to make this work for me? Knowing that training is utmost important for so many reasons. But not for the very least, that it fucking makes me happy. And being happy after coming through, you know, the hardship of closing my business, being happy is huge. Being 52 years old and realizing that I need to put myself in a position where I'm happy doing what I'm doing more often than not, working out is huge. It's my identity. It's who I am. It's what I am. It's what I love. It's what I want to do the most. I enjoy it. I want to be part of it. I want to foster it. I want to inspire it in others. It's about the struggle. Guys, that's all I have to say on that. Head on over to ironhosgear.com. Use the code word IRONWILL to get 20% off some really cool merch. Any questions, reach out, kurthos@gmail.com, or post a comment. If you're seeing this on YouTube, post a comment. Love the comments. Let me know what people are thinking. If not, reach out by email. Let me know what's going on. If you have any questions, if you need to talk, if any way I can help you, please reach out. And to get through anything, guys, remember the formula. Struggle, persevere, succeed, and inspire. And I'll talk to you guys later.